So you'll be able to see what you can post with and tag us. So you can just tag a Mobile Technology Training Institute, or you can tag Mobi Girls, because this session right here is organized and powered by Mobi Girls community. So let me put the hashtags, and you can start tweeting and tagging us on your stories or your LinkedIn. Some of the hashtags of the day are Campus Founders, Immobilis FFF for Friday Speaker Series, and the third one will be From Idea to Startup. So once again, for those who are joining us, welcome to the session. We are really glad to have you. I'll also be putting the ground rules in the chat box immediately, so you can go through them and please abide. So joining us today, we have a number of students from all over. We have Immobili students, we have students from different universities and different institutions, and we also have people who are just interested in having startups. So to start off, I'd like to invite a few people to just say hi. Someone from Immobili, someone from Kenyatta University, someone from Kisii University, someone from Powerland. As long as you signed up and you're from a certain institution, just raise your hand and you can say hi. Let's have some energy, some volunteers, some people to speak so we can start. Yes, Faith.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Faith Nyokabi from China.
Thank you so much, Faith. Faith is also part of the Mobi Girls community. She's the current chairperson of the Mobi Girls community, which is a really great achievement. She should have mentioned that. So thank you, Faith. I'd also like to invite you to start us off with a word of prayer so we can officially kick off the session.
Thank you so much for that, Esther. Yeah, as I've been introduced, my name is Faith Nyokabi Kariuki, the current chairperson for the Mobi Girls community. Let us close our eyes and pray. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for a wonderful day that you've given unto us. Thank you for empowering these young individuals to give us a session that will impact us in many different ways. As we start this session, we pray for insight that even as we plan to start our own startups, you may be with us. We pray for a successful session. In Jesus' mighty name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Faith, for the word of prayer. So I would not like to close it off for anyone. So is there anyone who would like to say hi or introduce themselves on behalf of their institution, or just tell us something about them? As we get someone, a volunteer, you can also be typing in the chat box. You can tell us your name, your institution, and what you expect to see in this session today. So you can tell us your name, let me put it in the chat box. Name, institution, and your expectations. Also, you can tell us where you're from. And let's kindly engage to make it more active, interactive, and to ensure that you all get something from this session. Your engagement is highly encouraged. Also for students at Immobilis, you are requested to change to your official names. Purposes of attendance recording. So if you're a student at Immobilis, kindly rename to your official names. Thank you. So at this juncture, I'd like to welcome Claire Karani, the programs manager here at Immobilis, to take over.
Okay, thank you very much, Esther. So thank you so much for starting us off on this Campus Founders Edition, the Friday Speaker Series. Lovely to have you all here. Maybe we can have more guys introduce themselves, even if it's on the chat section. So we might not be able to speak because especially of the time constraint, but it would be nice to just hear you guys introduce yourself on the chat. So let me see on the screen. So Abby, admin, kindly rename to your full names, kindly. Admin, Amos, Angela, Anthony, just tell us your name, where you're joining us from, if it's an institution, if you're from a certain company, maybe just one thing you expect from the session. So we need you guys to just introduce yourself on the chat so that we know who you are and where you're joining us from. So kindly just do that in the chat. So as we continue with that, I would like for us to watch a video. I know some of us, yes, are from Immobilis. Some of us got this link invite from our friends. So we'll just do a very short video to give you a summary of Immobilis, and then from there, we shall introduce the Friday Speaker Series. Yeah. So Esther, are you in a position to share the video, or can I do that?
Welcome to Immobilis, an award-winning ICT digital training institution and incubation hub based right here in Nairobi. Today, I want to give you a virtual tour of the institution where you will get to interact with the lecturers and my favorite part, the students. Come join me. Our program gives special attention to hands-on tech for all the courses, ranging from software development, cybersecurity, data science, among other, trained within our 4 modern computer labs with over 90 high-performance machines. Here are our labs fully equipped for a practical tutor-led learning.
So in our class today is just understanding what Bootstrap entails. So Bootstrap, it's a CSS framework that is going to understand, to learn more actually how you're going to create dynamic and responsive web systems. Hi everyone, welcome to Safari Lab. So at Immobilis, what we do, we embark students to train them mostly in software development. We have 4 labs at Immobilis. All our labs assign them using browsers. In this lab, we have 40 machines equipped to each student. So as I'm teaching here, all the students are doing what actually I'm going to give them here.
So this is Opera Lab that has a capacity of 25 computers. They're all fitted with the necessary softwares that we use for training the different modules of cybersecurity. Today's class, we are focused on one of the prerequisites of cybersecurity, that is networking. Aside from the prerequisites, we also have different modules oriented to different career paths in cybersecurity, ethical hacking and pen testing. We have security operations, we have threat intelligence, we have governance, risk and compliance. So by the end of the course, which lasts about 4 months, you are able to venture into any of those fields in cybersecurity. You can either become an ethical hacker, you can either become a pen tester, you can become a threat intelligence analyst. The opportunities are endless for all those career paths.
Here in Immobilis, the teachers are actually dedicated and helpful and understanding, such that if you have no idea at all about coding, the teachers will take you through it like step by step. And everyone is actually provided with a computer, so you don't have to worry about IT buying and everything.
There's diversity. We are all from different backgrounds. And Immobilis is giving us a space to network as youth and get to know each other and work together as a team.
At Immobilis, there is this culture where everyone is ready to help. Teachers are patient and they actually make sure that you do understand the lesson before they move to another one.
A simple word I would describe Immobilis is home, where you feel safe, where you feel wanted.
They mainly focus on hands-on skill, like practical part of it, such that ukitoka hapa and you go outside there, you can actually get a job, ama you start a job on your own, like right now creating websites and apps from home or something.
I would recommend Immobilis to my friends, families, because whatever they say they do it and they do it much better.
So any person that actually want to embark into software development, the best place to be is here at Immobilis.
There you go. Since inception in 2010, Immobilis has trained close to 10,000 students all over Africa. Some are currently working with the UN, Safaricom, Google, and other global brands. Over the years, Immobilis has won numerous awards. In 2023, during the annual World Summit on the Information Society Forum, WSIS, Mobigals, a women-focused program of Immobilis, emerged the winner under the category Enabling Environment in Geneva, Switzerland. The gold winner at the Digitally Fit Awards under the category of Software and ICT College in 2023. Immobilis, under the Ajira Digital Program, won the Employment and Entrepreneurship Initiative of the Year during the East African Employability Summit and Uongozi Career Awards in 2023. Pace Setters Award under the category of Digital, Software and Technological Skills Training in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania in 2023. Immobilis, under the Google Digital Skills Program, was awarded the Best Training Partner in Africa twice within 2019. Code your dreams with Immobilis.
Thank you very much, Esther, for that video. So now, just for those especially who might not know about Immobilis, that's just a brief overview and a virtual tour of our labs. So what might not have been mentioned is the Mobigals program. So as Immobilis, they started this initiative back in 2016 to help more young women to take STEM courses. So the reason why we have this is that, as you can see in the tech ecosystem, there are normally very few women. So over the years, as Mobigals, we've been able to do workshops, trainings, webinars, activities and events, and also hold master classes. So for this particular Friday Speaker Series, we decided to have campus founders. We'll find that our students here at Immobilis, some of them are straight from high school, others have just joined campus, and others are industry professionals. So we decided to host a Friday Speaker Series focusing on campus founders so that they can now be able to learn from them. How did they start? What challenges are they going through with their different startups? How can you actually start your own startup foundation? So I'd just like also to thank the team. I can see we have quite a number of people introducing themselves here on the chat. So nice to meet you, Anthony, Moses, Evans, Stephanie, John, Mark Brown. Thank you so much. Guys, let's all introduce ourselves in the chat section and let us know what you would like to learn from us. So today will be a day of learning. Someone who said wants to learn and unlearn and relearn. So we hope that today will be just that day for you. We are joined with amazing people who will be telling us more about their startups. So please feel free to introduce yourself and also ask questions on the chat section. After each and every speaker, there will be an opportunity to ask your questions. So don't feel shy. This is the opportunity you have to ask as many questions as you would like. So with that, I think maybe Esther, you can also project the program of the day so that our audience can know exactly the order of events and how we'll be taking us through this. So just to thank you very much. And I think now I will hand it over to Esther, who will be helping us go through this program and also introduce our speakers. I think one last thing from my end is kindly just rename. If you have, I don't have your official name, so like we have two admins and others who don't have the official names, please just rename to your official name so that it can be easier for us. Thank you so much, and back to you, Esther.
Thank you so much, Claire. I believe that we all have a clear picture of what immobility is all about. We realize that this audience has people from diverse places, diverse institutions, and we'd like them to also have a feel of what we do here at Immobilis. So thank you, Claire, for introducing Immobilis and the Movie Girls program, and for starting us off strongly. So our program of the day is as follows, as projected on your screen. Unfortunately, one speaker won't be with us today, that is Edina Wari, but we believe that the other speakers will be adequately good and the insights will be able to shape your opinions on startups, finding what on having your own startups. Yes. So at this juncture, I'd like to recognize again the presence of our speakers, Brian Mutune, Frank Chege, and Precious Awino. Thank you so much for joining us. A reminder, you can keep on tweeting, posting, and tagging us using our hashtags Campus Founders Edition or FSS Immobilis. The hashtags are in the chat box. I will be sending them again shortly. So right on to our first speaker. We'll be having Frank Chege. So let me read his bio and then I will allow him to speak. I'd also request that he turns on his camera as he is speaking so we can see him. Thank you, Frank. Frank Chege is the founder of Afya Soko, a digital health startup transforming access to medications in Kenya by connecting patients to nearby pharmacies with the medications they need, eliminating pharmacy visits. Passionate about innovation, programming, and entrepreneurship, Frank is building solutions that match technology with the real-world needs, with a focus on scalable, impact-driven ventures. So thank you, Frank. You may introduce yourself as well.
Okay, good morning, everyone, and thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So Esther reached out. She was looking for campus founders, and I happened to be one, and she invited me, and of course, I could not turn down such an opportunity. And it's great seeing the Mobi Girls of the Immobilis community, having myself come from such a community also. I am an alumni of ALX, so I understand about these software programming schools. Yes, and I'm looking forward to an insightful session. Apart from being a founder, I'll share my journey, my stuff, or my journey with Afya Soko. I'm also looking forward to listening to other founders who are also present, to the students, to the questions they have, and everyone in general. So I look forward to quite an insightful session.
Thank you, Frank. So without further ado, I will go on to the first question. For Frank's session, we'll be having a Q&A session. So we'll ask him a question as he answers. So the first question is, how did you get started and what inspired your journey?
Okay, so I basically started after experiencing the program personally. So I live in Gong and I live with my parents and also my grandma. So when most of the time you find that the elderly need constant medications, and you find that I used to be sent to go find medications from pharmacies. The nearest pharmacy is about a kilometer away or 2 kilometers. So you have to walk like a kilometer or two to the nearest pharmacy. You'll go to that pharmacy, you are looking for maybe 3 medications, you find that they have only one. You go to the next one, they only have another one. So at the end of the day, you find yourself, you have moved from several phamarcies all looking for medications. So that leads to waste of time, resources, and even energy. Because moving across all those pharmacies, checking that if they have medications is time wasting. So I wondered why not like make it easier such that you can have all these pharmacies online, have their stock such that instead of moving from home to the pharmacies, you can just upload your prescription or search the medications you want, and then you'll be matched with the nearest pharmacy that has the medications and you get delivery. That way there will be no need to move physically to the pharmacies or even hop around between pharmacies. So that it was the simplest that I experienced the problem personally, and that is how I got started with the Facebook.
Thank you, Frank. The next question is, what innovation or venture are you currently working on?
Okay, so currently I'm working on Afyesoko. So as Esther had said, Afyesoko is a digital marketplace connecting users to nearby pharmacies. Instead of moving from pharmacy to pharmacy, you can find those nearby pharmacies online, order from them, and get delivery. It's like Jumia or Uber, but for pharmacies. The same way Uber shows you the nearest pharmacies, or the same way Uber shows you the nearest drivers. Now it's the same with Afyesoko. Instead of drivers now, you discover the nearest pharmacies. Or the same way you go to Jumia, you find sellers selling items. Now on Afyesoko, you'll find pharmacies selling items, and you can order and get delivery. So let me do a demo. I'm attending on my phone. But there's no problem with that. Let me share my screen. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so that is our landing page. Thanks to our incredible front-end software engineer, Georgina. She's the one doing the front-end. She's also here. So that is how the platform looks. Let's log into a sample user account. So this is how the homepage looks like. So you can discover nearby pharmacies, order from them, and get delivery. So if you decide to order medications, you can choose a pharmacy. So you see it's a list of pharmacies. These are the nearby pharmacies, and it's location based, such that it shows you the nearest pharmacy first, so that the delivery fees are close. The delivery fees are low. Like you have seen, it has refreshed. Before it had not. I think everyone here is tech savvy, so maybe you understand that it's using GPS to determine my location, and then we have already saved the pharmacy's location. So after refreshing, it now shows the nearest pharmacy. Like this is the closest pharmacy. So if I wanted to order medications, I will just come there. I type whatever I need. Let's say maybe I need some Panadol Extra. And then from there, if I had a prescription, I will just add it there. So that can be an image, a picture of a drug you're looking for, and then you place an order. So I will not place with this pharmacy because that's a real pharmacy. Let me use a test pharmacy. As you can see, it also shows you the location, when the pharmacy is going to be open, their mobile number. If you have questions or inquiries, you can call the number. So let me order from the test pharmacy, which is used for demonstrations. So here we'll type that I need maybe Panadol Extra. Then I'll place the order. The estimated delivery fee is also calculated, but like right now it has not yet loaded. Let me just place the order. So after placing the order, you can see there is an order here. It's under review. What that means is that the order has been sent to the pharmacy for them to review. We are not a pharmacy ourselves. We are just a marketplace, so we cannot review medications. Some require prescriptions. So we are just a tech facilitator or a bridge connecting users to pharmacies. And so the pharmacies are the ones responsible for all medication related decisions, whether it's reviewing prescriptions, setting prices, and all that. So from there, the pharmacy on their end, they will review the order, set the prices, and then from there we'll just proceed to payment. So that is, and all that from your phone. You don't need to leave home. So let me cancel that. Then that is one way you can place an order. Another way you can place an order is that was the one I demonstrated is you choosing a pharmacy, and these are the pharmacies you are used to. We are not bringing like pharmacies you don't know. It's just the pharmacy that you find when you go to your town center or just just your neighborhood. The same pharmacy you find there is the one that you'll find here online. So there is no worry that you'll maybe be sold counterfeit medications or maybe illegal pharmacies. The pharmacy you already buy from, only that they have been brought closer to you online. So that was one way of ordering. You can call the pharmacy or you can place an order directly with them. Then they'll review it, they will call you, and after that you will pay and then receive delivery. That is. The other way you can order is through uploading a prescription. So this is where it gets interesting. So instead of ordering from a certain pharmacy, you can now search your medications across all the pharmacies, and then the one with the medications will be shown to you. So let me search again another medication like Panadol. Then here you can set maybe I want 5 tablets. Then if you had a prescription like an image, you will add it there. So it can be a prescription from the hospital, label for medication, and then you search it. Here we use AI, we are using GPT-4. I think GPT-4, GPT-5 to like scan the prescriptions and process it before searching now the pharmacies. I hope no one is lost by now. I'm assuming everyone is tech savvy that can understand whatever is happening. Let me submit the prescription. So at this point, we search the medication Panadol. You can see here your prescription Panadol. This is what we searched. So there it is sent to an AI model. The AI model extracts the medication details. In this case, it was Panadol. If it was a prescription image, it would also extract the medication details. Then from there, it would now search the pharmacies. Then in case the prescription is not clear, it will ask you to confirm like here. So just confirm, and it proceeds to search pharmacies. And right now, as you have seen now, the pharmacy search is complete. So whatever happened is we uploaded our prescription, the AI extracted the medication details. Then with the medication details, we searched the inventories of pharmacies we have on the platform. Then from there, we can know who has the medications, whatever they're selling for. Like right here, the available pharmacies. You can see the available pharmacies is Test Pharmacy. They are selling for 100 shillings. The estimated delivery time is 30 minutes. So normally what you will see is a list of several pharmacies, but right now the pharmacies we have not yet asked them to upload the inventory since we are refining that module of inventory. So right now the only stock available is for the Test Pharmacy, but otherwise you would have seen several pharmacies in their prices, delivery times. So the benefit is that now users can compare based on prices, delivery time, ratings, and even select their favorite pharmacy. So there's no need to like move physically from pharmacy to pharmacy, checking how much they're selling for, the delivery times and all that. You can do all that here. And I think for most people who are price sensitive, this will really help them because they can now compare. You see, maybe you come to the first pharmacy, you see they're selling for 100 shillings, another pharmacy is selling for 120 shillings, another pharmacy is selling for 200 shillings, and then from there you can now select whichever you want based on price, based on delivery time. Maybe it's your favorite pharmacy, you pick it, then from there you can order. So from there we just place order. Then from here the order will be sent to the pharmacy again, like I had shown when we were ordering directly from a pharmacy. It will be sent to the pharmacy for them to review. Then after them reviewing, it's just payment, delivery. Yeah, it's that simple. Yeah. So here you can see there is an order under review. So these are some of the details. You can see the pharmacy, the date, the time, the amount, the delivery fee, the status is under review. So once the pharmacy reviews, the status will be pending payment. You pay, the status will become delivery. Then you can see the price breakdown and all that. Yeah, so that is basically Soko. And this is thanks to a team we have. We have a backend developer, front-end software engineer for making this possible. It's a team effort. Yeah, so that is Soko. So I hope no one was lost there.
I definitely wasn't lost. I really like the UI of the app. It's very interactive and attractive as well. So what has stood out for me is that it's like Uber but for pharmacies. I think that's really cool. So the next,
Thank you.
I'd also like to recognize the presence of Georgina. You mentioned that Georgina is here, your front-end developer. So let's react
Yeah.
to her. Let's give her some love for developing such a wonderful UI. I'll move to the next question. So the next question would be, why did you choose your course and how does it connect to your path?
Okay, so as I had previously said, I am an alumni of ALX, so that is why I studied software engineering, a software engineering program, 1-year program, the same way their students at Immobile is studying, the same way I did. So I studied software engineering because I'm passionate about tech. I wanted to build my own stuff, and possibly when starting, my main objective was to like get a cool job. Like most of the developers or people in tech, we want to get like a cool job. That's how we started. Then maybe that's where maybe now Afyasoko came in. So maybe I can share a short story of how Afyasoko started. Started when I was studying that program. Then almost at the end of it, we were to build a final project, the final project before you graduate. And so so we were to come up with a cool project. You are not supposed to build like an already existing app. Such that we find people go clone maybe Facebook or a Netflix. You are supposed to build something real solving a certain problem. So that is why I started building Afyasoko. Back then, it was not even Afyasoko didn't look the way it is today. So what I came up with was just a simple website whereby instead of patients going to the hospital, you queue and then have to wait for your slot to see the doctor. You could basically just book from home and then come to the hospital at your allocated slot. So it was solving that simple problem after again going to a hospital, waited for an hour or two on the line, then finally went to see the doctor. So I was wondering why not book from home and then only come to the hospital at a specific time. So I built the platform, patients could book, and it was working. It was called Hospital X by then. Then as I continued building it, I started looking at why even go to the hospital in the first place? Because most of the time, maybe it's not something serious. You probably just wanted to see a doctor. You're having a cold. No need for a physical visit to the hospital. So that was where I started looking into now telemedicine, which is basically like online health, online hospitals and stuff like that. And so now the Hospital X, I started looking at how I can integrate like a video call whereby you can talk with the doctor, say whatever you want, and then it will save you the trip to the hospital. And so I integrated some video call functionality. It was actually working. So you could go there, you select the type of doctor you want or a hospital, you get scheduled to a video call, you attend it, it was working. Then you get consultation, and after that, you can receive your medications and all. So I now renamed it from Hospital X to Virtual Doctor because it's a virtual doctor. And that was how my journey with telehealth started. Then while still building that virtual doctor, I looked at, after seeing a doctor from the consultation, you're most likely to be given medications. So you'll have to go to the pharmacy section. So why not add a pharmacy section to the platform so that it becomes a whole health platform? That is why I started looking now into adding the pharmacy feature. So that once patients have consultations, they now go to the pharmacy. Then I started building it, did some research, and later realized that maybe this pharmacy feature is the one we should start with instead of consultations. Because you find that most of the times, the pharmacies tend to have more customers than hospitals. And I think many of us, even when you're sick, the first place you rush is the pharmacy, not the hospital. So why not start with the pharmacies first, and then later now integrate the consultations? Plus the number of customers will be many for the pharmacies. Because for someone to like take a virtual consultation, the number of customers will be very few. So that is why I started like focusing on the pharmacies first. Then with the pharmacies you can build trust, and then later now add the consultations later. So that is where Virtual Doctor became now a pharmacy platform, a pharmacy marketplace like it is today. Then over time, someone suggested that we rename it from Virtual Doctor to Afyasoko. That is to Africanize it because we are building African solutions. We don't want it on like a westernized solution. We want something local people can relate to. That is why we came up with Fiesoko. Fiesoko is basically a health marketplace, like it is. And yeah, so that is how Fiesoko came to be as it is today. It has evolved over time. When I was starting it, I never knew it would look the way it is today. So just evolved and we adapted with it. Yeah, so that is how about Fiesoko started.
I see that in the process you had a lot of changes and you had to fix some things and to leave some things behind. So what challenges did you face and how did you overcome them in the process?
Okay, I think the first challenges were like, okay, so let me get. So the first challenge is basically building the platform. So you find that when you're studying programming, you are advised to start with a small application, then slowly build towards a big application. But for me, I started with a bigger project, which is now a Fiesoko. I never started with building a weather app or a task tracker, daily tracker or something, which is what you should actually start with. I basically started with building a big application, and even my mentors back then said you should start with something small and then improve it to something big. So that was a big challenge because you find you're building a big platform, you still haven't mastered those concepts. So you're building and you're still learning. So it was a steep learning curve because you have to learn and build at the same time. But it was a great experience because it enabled me to like master concepts faster. Yeah, so that was one challenge. Another challenge was, let me get some notes. So it was assembling a team because you find that most of the time you can do a lot of stuff alone, but it's not if you can do a lot of stuff alone, but if you need to do even better work, you need a team. So assembling a team might seem easy because you just call people and then they join the project, but it's actually not that easy because you need to get people who are aligned to your project, they see the vision, they are committed. So getting that perfect team was a big challenge. And so for the large majority of the Fiesoko journey, I did it alone. So I only started assembling the team around April this year, but the project has been in existence for over a year. So I had to build it alone. That was a big challenge. You find that you don't even have weekends. You're basically working 24/7. Until I had a team, now with a team, at least I can get some time off, maybe a few hours. So it's good having a team. So that was one challenge, assembling the perfect team, which I think right now we have a good team and we're still growing it. Then another one is now like funding. You find that you are not going to get funded for simply an idea. You need to like build the platform so it is working so that you receive funding. So that is also another challenge. And how maybe you can maneuver it instead of like expecting to raise hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands of dollars to do your project. Simply keep it as simple as possible. It's a concept I was told called keep it stupid simple, such that you just have the basic features instead of like having so many cool features to your platform. Just have the basic ones that the app functions. And once it's functioning, you can later add all those. Because you might find that you want to add all these cool features so that your product looks great, but when you go out to the market and launch, nobody actually wants those features which you are working so much on. So I'll say keep it simple. Then bootstrapping is basically working minimal resources. Like right now, there are many free hosting platforms. You can host your projects in many platforms for free. And for example, like we're using the AI model we're using, it only charges about $5, and for $5, we have used it for quite a few months, and we have not even depleted the amount. So $5 you can afford that. Hosting is almost free. So you can go to platforms such as Railway, that they also offer good hosting solutions, like $5 and we'll host your project there, the back end. Then the front end you can host it in Netlify or Vercel for free. So you can see that you can keep your project alive for as less as for as little as $10 per month or even $5 per month. So you should not really say like you don't have funding to do your project. Just have to figure out a way how to maneuver it, because your excuses might be valid, but nobody will care about your excuses. So that is one funding. You have to figure out a way around it. Then maybe get people to believe in projects. That can be your parents, your relatives, your guardians, or even your networks. You can tell them about it, and then don't be shy, like, to ask for help, because you find that maybe you don't want to look like a beggar, or you are going asking for money. People might think you're scamming them. So you have to be really bold, because if you go to someone, you tell them about your project and whatever you're looking them, the worst they can say is no, and the best they can say is they can help you. So go to those people, tell them what you have. They will see your passion, they will believe in it, and they'll help if they can. If they don't, well and good, you still try. So that is one, like, finding how to really figure out. Because when I started, you find that even your parents themselves, something like a Fesoko, they won't understand what it is. You're telling them it's a business, they don't understand how it works, what's gonna make money. So even if you ask for some support, they still don't understand it. But if they see you building daily, making progress, after some time they will notice your effort. And even if they don't know how it is going to look like, they will appreciate the effort and they can start helping you, even friends. So funding should not be a reason for you not to get started. Just have to figure out a way. Then the other one was, when now we launched, oh, you have to do like research. And basically by research, what I mean is, before you start diving into coding, which is what most developers like, just want to jump into coding, you have to do like some research. Go to your potential customers, ask them, will they want something like this? Because you might spend so many months building something only to go to the market and you find out people don't actually need this. So do some research before even writing a simple line of code. Then another challenge was regulations. You find that there are many regulations around healthcare. So there is the Pharmacy Poisons Board. There are so many regulations because you're basically dealing with people's lives. So how we avoided that is, instead of becoming like a health platform and attracting all those regulations, we positioned ourselves as a technology company. So actually our legal name is Afesoko Technologies Limited. That way we are a tech company, we don't handle medications in any way. As you have seen from the platform, so after ordering, it is sent to the pharmacy for review. So from there, they are responsible for reviewing. They can accept your order or reject it, pack your medications, and even handle the delivery. So we don't touch medications in any way. So that was the workaround around the health regulation. So we also have to figure out some stuff like that, because at the end of the day, regulations can either help you grow or block you out. Because we are shut down today, that is how your project is dead. Yeah, so the challenges are many. I think my time might be up, so the chat can continue. There are so many challenges I can mention, but because of time, I would like you to take back to Esther.
Thank you, Frank. I have noticed that you have mentioned a lot of challenges, but I believe that the benefits and the successes are equally, they are equal in number, or they are more, yes. So a question in the chat box from Sky Mukami. When those pharmacies give you their inventory, they pay you for placing their pharmacies and info in the app, or is it that you get an amount from each order placed? So how do you make money?
Okay, just let me open the chat box and see the question. Oh, okay. So I've seen that question. So basically, how we earn money is from commissions based. So when someone places an order, we take a commission on the order. Yes, we are basically a marketplace or a broker. So we are bringing them customers, and for each customer we bring that converts into an actual order, we take some small commission. It's that simple.
Okay, the next question is, which architecture are you using and what are the advantages?
Okay, the tech stack we're using is, the front end is on Next.js, then the back end is on Fast API, a Python framework, better than Flask or faster than Flask. And for the database, we are using MySQL. For the memory, we are using Redis. For the background tasks, we are using Celery. Then for the AI model, we are using GPT-4. For hosting, we're currently using AWS for the backend. and for the front end, we are using Vercel.
Okay, thank you. That was a question from Amos. The next question is, as the founder, are you currently monetizing from the project? And if so, how are you? And if you are, please explain the general methods that could be used in monetizing different projects. I believe you've said that you do commission-based, but you can also answer if you have anything to add.
Oh, for monetization, it's basically, right now it's basically the commissions, the simple stuff. But later we will introduce other monetization revenues, like maybe charging for analytics on the platform, like what are the customers ordering, stuff like that. But that is later once there are many volumes. There is lots of volumes. So as your platform gets busy, you can always add more monetization revenues. But for now, it's just commissions. But as we scale, you will get more opportunities to monetize it.
We will have only 2 more questions. If you have any more, you can still put them in the chat, and I believe Frank will be able to answer them from there. So another question from Amos, which payment method have you implemented?
So right now we're only using M-Pesa, that is through the M-Pesa Daraja APIs. But later we are going to add more payments method like credit cards. Then maybe later in the future we can also add cryptocurrencies. But for now it's just M-Pesa.
Thank you, Frank. I do not see any other questions in the chat box. You can always keep sending them and you'll be able to get an answer. Frank will also be sharing some of his social, so you can directly reach out to him if you have any questions that you'd like to ask him. So thank you, Frank. Let's all give Frank a round of applause for the wonderful presentation and for having a health tech startup. I think that's really cool. Right, at this juncture, we are going to be having an icebreaker because we realize we don't want you to get bored.
Ni kama you selling in the school. Hebu sema yes.
A reminder to keep your mic muted unless you're requested to speak. So we'll be having an icebreaker and it will just be for a few minutes so you don't get bored or tired. It's going to be a fun game on Menti. So I want you all to open Menti and I'll share my screen so you can see the code. Oh, also the game only allows 50 players, so you should be really fast to join. Yes. Okay, so you are going to search menti.com and use the code at the top to join the game. So menti.com and use the code. Let me put it in the chat as well. So you can just click. Yes, thank you, Claire. And the code is also going to be in the chat box. So we're waiting for the rest of the players to join. We're now at 10 players. Remember that we're only going to be allowing 50. So if you've not yet joined, kindly make haste. So the code is 65915962. 65915962. Menti.com. We'll be starting in the next 2 minutes. Six five nine one 5962. Okay, I don't see any more people joining, so we'll just start. And okay, here we go. First question. Your side hustle just made 10,000 Kenyan shillings profit. What's your first move? Will you invest in the business? Buy pizza for the whole squad? Pay off your help? Or accidentally spend it all on Junior flash sale? Yes, that is the answer. You should always reinvest to make sure that your business can keep running. If someone says that you should pay off your help with the 10,000, that's crazy. So the next question. A lecturer schedules a surprise cut on the same day you have a pitch competition. What do you do? Fake food poisoning, talk to the lecturer and reschedule, skip the cut, you only live once, or ask your co-founder to go and you bribe them with mandazis. Yes, so that was the answer. Talk to the lecturer and reschedule. Question 3. I see we're getting more players, so you can keep joining as we go on. Which is the most accurate definition of networking as a campus founder? Taking selfies with important people for Instagram and LinkedIn, people do that a lot. Asking for those before even saying hello. Adding strangers on LinkedIn, or meeting people at events and telling them about your work. Yes, networking is letting people know what you do, not just asking them for nice pictures that you can post or adding them as friends on LinkedIn. So just as Frank has done today, that's networking. So the next question. Your first customer asks for a 50% discount because we're friends. What's your best? Give it. The customer is king. Block them, politely explain the value of your product, or increase the price for everyone else to cover the loss. Yes, you don't block your first customer. I'm sure you can negotiate and get them to use your platform or buy your product. And lastly, question 5. A student startup pitch competition offers 50,000 prize money. How do you win? Have a killer pitch and a clear business model. Bring free snacks for the judges. Use dramatic background music during your slides, or wear matching team outfit. Hey, this one you guys have gotten it wrong. You shouldn't have dramatic background music for your slides. That doesn't attract investors to you. So make sure you have a killer pitch, a clear business model, and you'll be able to get funding. So that was it for the icebreaker. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you've enjoyed it, put a 1 in the chat box. Like, let me show you an example. Yeah. Thank you for the interaction, for asking questions and participating in the icebreaker. So at this point, I'd like to invite our second speaker of the day, and that's going to be Brian Mutune. I'll read his bio as he gets ready and turns on his camera because we want to see him. Okay. Brian Mutune is the founder and CEO of One Labs, as well as a full stack developer and designer with a focus on mobile tools, open source applications, and AI-powered platforms. Passionate about continuous learning, he builds open source projects both as a hobby and as a means of refining his skills. He is currently pursuing a degree in mathematics and computer science at Kenyatta University and holds an AWS Cloud Practitioner certification. At One Labs, Brian oversees the wing leaders of the organization's areas: software institutions, innovation and exploration, and education and outreach. He also contributes his expertise to projects across all wings modalities. So Brian, welcome. The floor is yours.
Esther, thank you for the opportunity. Yeah. So, Esther, we met at AWS cohort 9. It was cohort 9, yeah. I also met Robert, and is it Robert? Robert Chege. I also know him. He's a very active member in the Bone Labs community. He helps. The main thing he does is he helps us know our path. I think that's the best way to put it. So I'll just get started because with the introduction. Okay, and Esther has already introduced me. I'm Brian Mutune, and I'm the founder of Bone Labs. I founded it with my other 4 friends. How I got started was basically we had a group chat, me and my 4 friends, and each of us we were like what we were doing is like one of us was a programmer, another one was an engineer, and another one was studying teaching, and the other one was a programmer as me, just like me. So what we did was I pitched them the idea of starting Bone Labs. I told them like, hello guys, I have this idea where I wanted us to work on ideas. So at first they laughed at the idea because I seemed like I didn't know what I was talking about. But as I continued pitching my idea, they started being interested in it. So what I did was we arranged ourselves in an hierarchy. They established me as the leader and the 3 of them as the wing leaders. So basically, what Bone Labs is, somebody comes with an idea. Let's say somebody wants to build an app. I'll use the recent app somebody suggested a few days back called Fundia. It's a very a funny app. Somebody had an idea of making a Fundi app, somewhere like you can, like if you need a plumber, it's like a LinkedIn for plumbers and whatnot. So that was the recent idea somebody pitched to us. So that is basically Born Lab. Somebody pitches an idea to us. We make him a project lead, and then we contribute our skills to that project. So yeah, so that's how we established Born Labs. I can say that the innovation venture I'm currently working on is actually, it's not just a single app, but multiple of them. So I'll just mention three of them. The first one is NAME. NAME is a neural agent modeling engine. What it does is it's an Android-powered app that works in conjunction with Tamax. Tamax is like a Linux distribution on Android. So what it does is a user can download a inference model. An inference model is like a ChatGPT model, and then the user can interact with Tamax through the Name app. So what it does is you are you are able to interact with the model on Tamax using the Name app. Uh, the the Name app in full is Neural Agent Modeling Engine, and you can notice that there's an agent there. So the app was built like we wanted to bring local AI models to phones. So you are able to use an offline ChatGPT, if I put it like that. Yeah, so that was Name. We've also worked on. Esther, can I share my screen?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, let me just share my screen. And there was a technical difficulty. So am I audible again?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So I'll just share the Born Labs website. So these are some of the projects we've worked on. There's a Grid Forum. It's an open source platform where AI models can it's a chat, a WhatsApp for AI models. So I won't go deep into them. I'll just introduce the easier ones to understand, and only the websites, because I cannot show the mobile applications for now. So that was the Grid Forum. There's if you click any of these buttons, you'll be redirected to a GitHub, and then you'll be able to understand what it is more about. And then there was the KU Student app, where we are bringing uh, KU the KU portal and the Kusoma platform into an app, so that there's a small mini Twitter for KU students inside the app. It's a feature that was added. That's why it's called the KU Buzz. It is an extension. And then there's a SAS4 Cognito. So this is actually a website. So when I click it, you'll be able to just see it. So this was one of the projects we worked on. The first project that had very many members working on it. So basically, it's like like a WhatsApp, but for people who are interested in Linux. Like you can see, the UI is very tech savvy, like for people who enjoy Linux and sorts. So Cognito was one of the apps that I myself really enjoyed to be part of. Yeah, so there's also I've already discussed Name. There's also Our Minds. Our Minds is a mental health platform. So Our Minds is basically for Africans, for people who want to talk to therapists. So, for example, you can share your story, people can comment on it, you can consult a mental health professional, let's say like Ansilo or Freddy, they can talk to you. But this it's a prototype. It's not actually the real deal, but it's a very uh, I can say it's a very uh, advanced prototype because the backend is there, the APIs and the front end are all implemented perfectly. You can chat with someone and the likes. So I'm keeping it very short because of time. I know I have like 15 minutes, and there are so many projects we've done on Bone Labs. So I mentioned that Bone Labs has wings. So wings are like different skill sets. So somebody can be working on software, has skills in the software sector. Somebody has skills in the engineering sector. So somebody with skills in the engineering sector, they join the innovation and exploration wing, and they have currently worked on two projects: the Flux Pulse motor and the smart greenhouse container. So they managed to uh, let me call it a science fair. They went to a science fair and they pitched their Flux Pulse motor. Although they did not win, I can say that was some progress we've made as Bone Labs, because we managed to get some people together. They worked on a project and they managed to go and pitch it in a science fair. So the second one they are working on is a smart greenhouse container, and it is a multi-wing project where people from different projects, from different wings, like SAS. The SAS is the software and solution wing for programmers and coders, and we are the ones responsible for most projects. So the smart greenhouse container, it's a project that is a multi-wing project, and it combines skills from the software wing and the engineering wing. We also have education and outreach wing, and we've only managed to do one project, which is an introduction to Linux course, a beginner-friendly course to Linux available on YouTube. If you click the link, you'll be redirected to our playlist on YouTube where we are teaching people in a very simpler way how to get started on Linux. Yeah. So why I chose my course and how it connects to my path. Basically, let me stop sharing. So why I chose my course. Actually, I've always been interested in the tech field, and since I can say since high school, because I did my what was it called, computer. I did computer in high school, and I was always interested in computers. And so actually I remember I chose computer science, and I also chose maths and computer science. So I just knew, like, I had to force them I had to force what are they called, the ones that I had to force them to put me in a category that employs computers. So yeah, so I was always interested in computers, and that's why I chose it. And you can see that I'm employing the skills I learned in my uh, in my major. I'm employing the skills in what I'm doing. Also, the key challenges we faced, I can say that we faced many challenges, and one of them is I can say that many projects have failed, many of them. So most of them that I've shown you, we have classified them as this thing at Bone Lab. There's this thing we say, this is a educational project. What it means is it's a failed project, but it has taught us something. So for example, like the Grid Forum, It is where the AIs chat. We can say that it's an educational project because it led us to know what actually people want. So, and actually from that, from the grid forum, we were able to create the name, the neural agent modeling engine. Yeah, and then there's also the Cognito, and I remember people were actually in there. We actually had like 10 people using the app, but after a while we realized it was just like a cheap copy of Signal or a simple WhatsApp case, like a simple light app of something like WhatsApp or like WhatsApp. And so we classify them as like educational projects. They teach us that we don't. The main thing they teach us about is, for example, like Frank Chege said, you have to do research. And most of the time when we were starting these projects, we are not doing research. We just saw like, this is a very cool project, let's do it. So after those fails, we started learning that we should do research first and then commit to what we are doing. The success and lessons I've learned along the way. So I can say our successes, though minimal, we don't have many large successes. We have very minimal successes. But our successes, for example, the main success at Bone Labs is our community. So our community we have like 100 people in our WhatsApp, over 100 people in our WhatsApp channel that always pitch ideas. They always share ideas with us. They tell us like, hey, I have this idea and I need people with your skills to work on it. So most of the ideas that are being submitted are not like, what is the word for them? They are not ideas that can boost you. Like, they are very cheap ideas. And so, but then that's why I'm saying that our main success is our community. They help us, they inspire us, and that's why I've been able to come with so many projects like the name and the our minds. And there's actually another project that has been coming up called an Accusys. It's a project that helps people with car shows. I don't know how to put it. Yeah. Currently, I'm not involved in the project. It's the people from the software and solution wing. They are working on it. Yeah, but currently I'm not involved in the project. But when they release, they release it under the name of Bone Labs because that's where they met. So what I might do differently if I were to start over, I'd say I'd start earlier. Maybe when I was in first year, I think I would have started then. Because I think many people, when they come to the uni, they're very what's the word for it? They're very excited to be part of something. That's what I can put. That's how I can put it. And Bone Labs offers that opportunity. So you don't have to wait to get hired. You just start your journey. You start working on the projects with your skills. If you don't know something, there are people in the group. Maybe if you're front-end developer, there are back-end developers. If you are maybe somebody who is in the skills, who is in the field of engineering, and he has a project that may involve some people in the software field. I mean, so there's that connection. So people are working together. People from different fields, even the education field, they are working together, and we are bringing these projects to life. Yeah. So as I conclude, I'd like to say that to anyone who here who's thinking about starting something, just anything. Uh, you don't have to know your path exactly, but I'd say just don't wait for anyone, just start. And as you progress, the path creates itself. That's what I can say. And yeah, and thanks for listening. And yeah, that was me.
Thank you so much, Brian. I like the quote that you left us with. Just start. The path will create itself. That's really powerful. So we'll open questions for Brian at this point. The first one that I can see in the chat box is, how do you make money? You mentioned that you don't have a lot of successes, but do you have revenue, sources of revenue?
Yeah, so basically from our side, there is what we called engagement plans. So there we work on open source projects, there's a revenue partnership, and then there is express builds. So most of our revenue comes from express builds, and these express build are like small projects people have, and they pick, like they request for a skill in Bone Labs. Maybe they want a front-end developer, and they get the developer, and then they pay like a small fee. Yeah, and that is the revenue, and that is express build. Like we offer somebody from our organization. It's not a company, actually. We like calling it an organization. Somebody from our organization has this skill, and they are since we have this uh, let me call it like a profile, that there are many skills. There are people with skills in Bone Labs, so they hire, and they request for a skill. They pay a small fee, and then we look for somebody in the team who can, due to the projects they have done, we look for the best person in that sector, and then yeah we recommend that guy, and then they do the express bill. I can say that for now, that's the only way we are earning. We've not earned in another way, because most of the projects we are doing is for presentation, like to show like people, there are people with these skills, we can do this. Yeah, that is mostly what we measure on. It's for the profile. Yeah.
So when you give someone a job as a skilled person and they're paid, how do you as CEO make money from that? Do you split it, or how does it work?
Okay, so there's this system we have. Yeah, it's like an internal app we developed. So there's this queue we have. So let's say there's a request for some. Let's say somebody wants to build an app and is looking for some people. So there's this I can say a system we created, where there's this queue of developers. Mostly it's developers that are mostly requested for. So there's this queue, and then if you want to be in front of the queue, we have a PayPal account. You deposit money, and then you're strung up to the top list of the queue. So when there's a new request, you're the first one to be picked. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other questions from the audience? I think Austin Waniki is unmuted. Any other questions? Okay, I see Austin has muted. Where do you see Bond Labs in 5 years?
Uh-huh. So where do I see it in 5 years? I can say that I can see us improving in the sector of skills. because I've noticed there's this trend. The more we do projects, the more people join us. So in 5 years, I expect that we'll have more skilled people. There are people we will have accomplished many projects and many successes. We will the success margin will increase from the minimal we have now. So yeah, so I see a lot of success. I see a lot of a bigger community, and I see great skills. Yeah.
Thank you for that, Brian, and all the best in One Labs. Thank you for representing the community. We hope that you can be part of the community as well. I believe you'll be sharing the links to your social here, so we can also join the community. There's one last question in the chat box before we move on to the next speaker. Is the revenue enough for scalability? And if not, can one achieve so?
So according to revenue, there's this thing. There's this thing we notice in people. You don't start something because you don't have the capital to start it, but you have the skills to start it. So so that revenue or the capital to start something, it becomes like a barrier. So like if you notice Frank said that there are cheaper options they are using for like hosting their websites, and we use freemium. Freemium are free websites that offer subscription types models for more features, such as like GitHub. For example, our Bone Labs website, it's hosted on GitHub for free. Using GitHub Pages, you just have to set up the workflows, the CID, and yeah. So if you visit our GitHub organization, you'll able to see the source code of the website. It's free because it's just a static website. So there is that you can see the source code, and we've just shared with. I mean, it's just free, and we didn't need the capital to start most of our projects. For example, like name. I can say it's a resource intensive project, but again, from our community, there are people with powerful machines with those GPUs. So we build the code itself, we write it, and then somebody else with a very powerful machine runs the build. Can say the build because it's an AI project. So the inference models, somebody runs the build, and we just fix when necessary. So from our community, the power of our community helps us when it comes to things like capital, starting a project, and all that. In terms of scalability, I assume it's something you're saying something like how can we make our applications offer, for example, like the Cognito, how can it serve more people like that? If that was the question. If that's the question on scalability. For that, I think we are, I don't think, for scalability, it's like me, I'm not understanding the question, revenue and scalability. Is it scalability for the projects or scalability for the Bone Labs, the organization itself? Because for the projects, we can scale with the cloud. For example, like AWS. If it's a website, we can use the cloud to scale the website. If it is an app, we don't. For example, if it's an app, for scalability purposes, for example, if it is like for again, the apps we build, like for name, I don't think there is a scalability. I don't think there is a scalability. Yeah.
I think Mugambi will just clarify her question in the chat, and then you'll be able to respond to her right there. Yes. So thank you so much, Brian. Let's appreciate Brian for sharing with us about his startup, send some reactions before we move on to our next speaker. You'll be able to reach him through his socials that he will also share, and you'll be able to join his community, and you can also work with him directly. So thank you, Brian, for taking your time. We are really grateful that you are able to speak to us.
Thank you. Oh, I can see that Mugambi has clarified. Should come from.
Yeah, you can just explain to her or
Yeah,
answer
so
her in the chat box.
Oh, she's asking. Oh, I can answer in the chat box.
Yes, what you can move to the next speaker.
Okay, right. Thank you for the opportunity, and thank you all for listening. And shout out to Moby Girls.
Thank you, Brian.
Okay.
So finally, to our last speaker, I'd like to welcome the only lady who will be speaking today. That's Precious Awilo. So Precious, can you turn on your camera as I did your bio? Precious Awino is a final year student pursuing a degree in information security and forensics. She is the founder of Blue Roots, a climate tech startup that transforms invasive water hyacinth and fish waste from Lake Victoria into sustainable, protein-rich animal feed for smallholder poultry farmers. Her work focuses on low-tech innovation, community-centered design to tackle environmental challenges while supporting local agriculture. Precious is passionate about building purpose-driven solutions that connect deeply with the communities they serve. So Precious, we cannot see you.
I'm sorry about that. I believe you can see me right now.
Yes, we can. Let me share your slides, then you can proceed.
Okay, thank you. Okay, well, thank you so much. My name is Precious Awino, tech leader and founder of Blue Roots. And I am excited to be here with you today and share a bit of my journey. Thank you, Esther, for the invitation. Yes, we can dive right into it. Go to the next slide, please. Okay, so the next slide is a brief introduction to myself. I am passionate about cybersecurity, and I am also passionate about how we can integrate technology in our everyday lives to help us solve our problems and make our lives easier. And that is where my journey with Blue Roots started. So next slide. So the next slide is essentially talking about how my journey started, and it all began with a frustration and a dream. I watched how the invasive water hyacinth would choke the waters of the Lake Victoria and pollute our waters. Hence, it will hinder fishing and also economic activities that go on in the lake. So I also saw how poultry farmers could struggle to afford feed. The poultry feeds are very expensive, so I thought, well, what if the problem could be part of the solution? So that's why I came up with a dream to turn an environmental threat into a valuable resource. So we turn the water hyacinth and use them to make poultry feed, which in turn we sell to the poultry farmers. Hence, everybody wins. So then, next slide. The next slide is talking about Blue Roots, like getting a little bit deeper into it. It's a tech-enabled innovation that we are building, that applies smart and sustainable solutions to everyday challenges in agriculture. The solution is it's not so much on the tech side. It combines agriculture and climate with technology. So it's where tech meets nature, and it's also community driven. The project is deeply rooted in solving problems with the local communities and supporting agriculture. To the next slide, I will tell you about how my course has helped me in my startup journey. So I am majoring in cybersecurity and digital forensics, although I did applied computing in my first 2 years. So a lot of coding there. My cybersecurity has helped me to learn that protecting user data and creating a secure digital environment is non-negotiable. You should always put the privacy of your users first. And I've also learned coding and development, which has helped me turn ideas into a real problem and bring my ideas to life. And also with problem solving, debugging while doing my class assignments, it helped me to solve real world issues. And now I can approach challenges methodically, just like a true engineer. To my next slide, I will be talking about the challenges that I have come across in my journey. So first, we know about the tech realities. When you're designing a solution from scratch with limited resources, you don't know everything. You have to keep learning as you go and wearing multiple hats because you have to figure things out as you go also. There's a problem with a big vision and a limited budget. You have a big dream, but your pocket is not enough. So you should start with working with a small budget that will help you. Then you can scale later on. And then on mindset, every moment you will have self-doubt. Not every moment, sorry, but every moment you have self-doubt. There'll be tough conversations, and you'll need to pivot a lot of times. I am going to talk about pivoting in my next slide when I'm talking about customer development, because you'll need to change your idea sometimes, very many times, and it's okay. You don't need to have it all figured out. Just start small and keep showing up for your project. So on the next slide, I will be talking about the lessons that I learned along the way. And for the first part, this is very important. You need to start by solving something that you can relate to, something that you're passionate about, because starting a business is not easy. Starting a startup from the ground, it's not easy. They'll get to a point where you'll be tired and don't feel like keeping going. But if you pick something that you're passionate about, it will give you the motivation to keep driving. And to the next point, this one is mostly for the ladies, but yeah, the gents can listen also. When you're starting a business, you need to play offensive 90% of the time because things are going to get tough. That is true. But I know you've heard of the rumors how most investors try to shy away from female-led startups because they're not sure if you have the resilience to keep going when things get hard. And that is where you're here to prove them wrong. Even if things get hard, you just keep going, play offensive, just do your work, be there for your project, and pick something that you are motivated about to give you the drive to keep going. And then for the next and very important step, that is customer development, what I was going to tell you about. So first, you need to have your customer creation and validation first before you start your business. I know the other speakers have spoken about it. We've had them insist and emphasize on doing research before starting your business. You need to understand your customer. You don't just think that since you got your degree, you know everything. Unaenda kuwasaidia juu wewe umesoma, so you're the one who knows. No, don't do that. Your customer is the one who's going to use your product. They understand your problem better than you do. So you should go to your customer, talk to them, and don't. I know you can use it for supplementary purposes, Googling things on the internet and asking ChatGPT, but I will advise you to go physically to your customer and talk to them, have a meeting and understand their problem. They know the problem more than you do. And avoid using people's data. Go to your customer and talk to them and find your own data. Don't use anybody else's data to make your decision. It is a very important decision. Data is very important in a business and everywhere, really, and you need to understand its importance. Also, you can when you're starting your business, you're not looking for the majority at the beginning. You just need your innovators and the early adopters. So you don't have to have like the whole country being your customers in the next 3 months. That should not be your goal. Just find your innovators and your early adopters. Can be even 20%, but that's okay. Those are the people you need to start with and go with them while you keep scaling. And also, you should be able to explain what you're building. If you meet somebody and investors or anything, you've heard about the elevator pitch, you should be able to explain in simple terms the product or the service that you're building. So yeah, those are the core important lessons that I learned along the way, and I would like you to remember them. So to the next slide, I will tell you things that I could, if I could start again, what I could do different. So first off, don't be afraid to ask for help. You have mentors, network, go to events, talk to people, ask for help. There's a lot of resources and information out there. Just jitume. Start small, iterate fast. You need to have like your minimal viable product. And another thing about your MVP, you should know that if your MVP is scalable, then you're doing something wrong. You need to work on that. Yes, your MVP should just be an abstract of what you're doing. So another thing, celebrate every tiny win that you have. Trust your gut, and also take care of yourself. You can't pour from an empty cup, especially when you try to build something big. So take care of yourself all the time. And another important point, you make the users of the resources that you are available to you right now. I know most of the audience right now, we're still students, and that is the most important lesson that I've learned. If I could start again, I could start early, because when you're a student, you have a chance to try and fail and build and learn. And also, there are a lot of resources that you have for free. As a student, you can walk into a company and tell them you're doing a research for a school project and you need some information. Nobody's going to say no. They're going to give you that information. But once you're out here, everybody for himself. But you can use that advantage as a student to get resources from your lecturers. You can do interviews. People will not say no to giving out information to a student. And that is a very essential thing. So if you're in first year or second year, start early. This is your time to fail and experiment and learn. So yes, and finally to the last slide. This is just motivation to the young innovators that are starting out. I want you to remember that your ideas matter. Your passion is powerful and you belong here. Do not wait for permission. Just the one with your unique voice and your innovative spirit. So you start with your heart full of curiosity, your willingness to learn, and believe in what you can achieve. And go build something beautiful and make a difference. I am rooting for you, and good luck in everything. Thank you for listening, and I can take questions now.
Thank you, Precious. Can you keep your video on as you answer the question? Yes, we want to see you. So I can see a few questions in the chat box. The first one is, how is the business doing in terms of customer acquisition and revenue?
Sorry, can you say that again?
How is the business doing in terms of customer acquisition and revenue?
So we have multiple sources of revenue streams for now as we are starting out. We started out with something small scale. So we just supplying to a few local farmers and using just small equipment. We're not doing something big for now. So we are starting small scale. The revenue streams comes from the sales, and we also have some partners with other farmers where we can buy eggs after selling them the feed. So we do egg resale also. So that is also a revenue stream that we have.
Thank you for that. The next question in the chat box is, in what ways has coding enabled you to turn real life challenges into functional platforms?
Oh, that is easy. So when you learn coding, everybody who has a coding background, you have the system development process, the SDLC life cycle. You learn how to break down problems. You break them down into simpler stuff that you can work on now, and that has helped me to think methodically as an engineer to be able to solve problems. And also while coding, you fix bugs and all that, so it has helped me with my problem solving skills, which are better now. I know how to know where the problem is, how I can, what's the word, it's gone, but I know how I can solve my problems from the way I was solving problems while doing coding assignments in class. Oh, and also cybersecurity. With my background in cybersec, I have learned how to prioritize the cybersecurity of your customers, the privacy of their data. You owe it to them, and that is very important and non-negotiable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I realize that your startup is not very much tech aligned, but it's using tech to solve problems in other industries and fields, which is really amazing. And we're really grateful for what you're doing to support people living around Lake Victoria. I find that really cool. So I don't see any other questions. If you have any other questions, you can ask them in the chat box, and Precious will be able to reply to them. You can also share socials in the chat box if you're willing to be reached through them. Just a reminder, our hashtags of the day are in the chat box as well, so you can post and tag us at Immobilis Tech on all platforms. We'll be able to repost and recognize you. So at this point, we are through with all our speakers. I'd like to welcome Claire Arani to take us through our poll before we move on to the photo session. So as we're doing the poll, get ready to turn on your cameras because we're going to be taking a few photos just to wind up the session. So Claire, welcome. And also let's appreciate Precious. We forgot to do that. So let's show her some love for telling us more about her startup. Thank you so much. I see 9 reactions, yes. Thank you. So Claire. As the poll is being set up, we could receive feedback from the participants, what you thought of the session, any questions you have that you'd like to be addressed. You can send them in the chat box, or you can just unmute and ask. The poll is also in your chat, on your screen, yes. So you'll be able to answer it right there. So let's participate. I see no one has participated yet, so let's do the poll for a few minutes as we prepare to turn on our cameras for the photo. The poll is just 4 questions, so make sure you participate. We want to be able to collect information from you that will help us improve our future programs. So kindly fill in the poll and answer it so we can be able to give you more of what you'd like to see. Let's also start turning on our cameras for the final photo. I highly recommend our 3 startup founders to turn on their cameras as well so we can take the final photo. So Evans, Brian, Precious, Eagle, Victory, Anthony, Valentine, Samson, Monica, Christy, turn on your cameras, Faith. We want to see you. Zoita, Joshua, Movie, Joy Peace, Evans. Let's turn on our cameras. Olivia, Lennox. And we also finish up on the poll. Liz Okuru, Ida, Vincent, Vic, and Mundika, Stephanie, Zainab. Turn on our cameras. Marina, Wairimu, Faith, Monica. And you should be smiling. I've already started taking the photos by now. I see that young people have done the poll, so the rest of you can also answer as we finish up. Felix, turn on your camera. JavaScript class. Okay, so let's smile as we take the first photo. The rest turn on the cameras. So, yeah. Just one more, and then we'll have a vote of thanks from our Movie Girls Committee Chair, Faith. So let's smile again. Okay, thank you very much for turning on your cameras and for staying to the end of the session. So I'd like to welcome Faith Nyokabi to give us the vote of thanks and the closing prayer as we finish. Faith, kindly unmute.
Sorry for that. Thank you, Esther, for the introduction. My name is Faith Nyokabi Kariuki, the current chairperson of the Movie Girls Committee. I'm also a student currently pursuing civil engineering. Thank you so much for our speakers for actually coming out, speaking, and empowering us with words of knowledge. We really do thank you for that. We also thank the Mobilis administration for everything they've done for us. Thank you for empowering young youth to come into the tech field, as I am also a beneficiary of Immobilis, having studied under partial scholarship pursuing MIT. Thank you also for organizers, Esther and Claire. Thank you so much for your effort. And also to our participants, really thank you for your turn-ups, for interacting with us today. We look forward to having more of such sessions, and for your participation. I will also like to encourage our ladies to join our Movie Girls community. We do have sessions like STEM on Soul on Fridays. It's an interactive community to actually share and learn more. Thank you so much, and let us close our eyes for a word of prayer. Thank you, Heavenly Father, for an interactive session that you have. Thank you for the success achieved during this time. As we close our session, we pray that what you have learned today, you may be with us, that you may implement it, even as we again start our startups projects. May you be with us, guide us, and protect us. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen. Have a nice day, everybody.
Thank you, Faith, and thank you all for attending the session. We really appreciate your presence, and we hope that you'll be able to engage with us even in the future. So this is the end of our Friday Speaker Series Campus Founders Edition. You're free to leave.